Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
Take a look here. It looks like Ethereum is number one after all, at least when it comes to gas fees. If you don't mind paying $3.37 to $36.88 to show your loyalty. Or you could pay fractions of a penny and use XRP. Here is a reminder as we get into the news here very quickly that we know that indeed central banks now hold more than 35,000 metric tons of gold, about a fifth of all the gold ever mined. What do you think that they know's coming? Do you think that they know something's coming? This goes to my core tenet of investing, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you I'm stacking my pennies next to their dollars. I concur here with Bond Crypt XRP, who says the global debt is unpayable. It would take generation after generation to clear it. It's simply unsustainable. The new financial system, asset gold backed, is around the corner. It's the only way to get rid of this Federal Reserve system by going back to the gold standard. I concur with this, and I tell you, this is why I'm pointing out also, and I tell you there'll be a link underneath the video for Glint. I've been using Glint. I've been buying gold. It is physically allocated to you. You can get a debit card also to spend it, or you could choose at some point to actually have it physically delivered as well. You cannot beat Glint Gold. There's no question. And with that, I also remind you that the U.S. Federal Reserve fund rate is now 0.25 to 0.50%, and this might be the first of at least 4 further rates rises for this year, and more in 2023. I am getting as much gold as I can, not financial advice, to hedge that trouble we are headed into. Here's some more trouble right here. The SEC recently had a meeting today, and it says here that we are not the Securities Environment Commission. This is Hester Peirce's statement. Really, and this is John Deaton stating here, we are not the Securities and Exchange Environment Commission. It says, my statement is rather lengthy, so I will turn off my video off as I speak. By one estimate, doing so will reduce the carbon footprint of my presentation on this platform by 96%, says Hester Peirce. She's not a fan. I looked at her paper on this, and if we go into this, I tell you, it looks like Gary Gensler is attempting now to reach for more jurisdictional power grab, not just with crypto, but as far as climate change in his recent attempt to expand climate disclosures by public companies. And I tell you, this is problematic. Gary Gensler is a guy who's out of control as far as I'm concerned. Let's quickly go through this because this is Ron Hammond giving us the update this week in Congress. I'm going to start at number 6 here. Then comes Senator Warren's Digital Assets Sanctions Compliant Enhancement Act, which includes several Senate banking Democrats as co-sponsors. 2 important things to note, though. There was no Republican on the bill, and Senate Banking Chair Senator Sherrod Brown was not a co-sponsor. That is a problem because you need to have the weight of that chair to help get a bill through. Thank God, because this bill's a mess, it appears. Says here, there could be a variety of reasons for this, but having buy-in from the Senate banking chair is important to move legislation. Many Republicans were curious about the legislation as clamping down on oligarchs is a good soundbite, but there are several flaws with the bill, no doubt about that. If you want to learn more about the legislation and areas of concern, he sends you to Coin Center article, which does a great job of highlighting it. The House companion bill to this being led by Brad Sherman. It says here, one last thing to note outside of this hearing this week is that the Senate Foreign Committee is going to be making the ACES Act, which calls for a study on the adoption of cryptocurrency as legal tender in El Salvador. He says, Ron Hammond says, I will stress this is not a big deal as many studies are ongoing around this. I don't know about that, Ron. The bill will still need to pass the full Senate House, which is a heavy lift. It could be included in a larger bill later, but before anyone claims this bill lays the groundwork for Bitcoin as legal tender, I confirm this isn't the case. This is a desire to learn more. I lay down, this is not a bill to make Bitcoin legal tender. This is probably going to be an effort to do exactly the opposite. We'll see. Thank you, Rob. Here we see Goldman Sachs makes its first over-the-counter crypto transaction trading Bitcoin, linked non-deliverable options with Galaxy Digital. Oh, Mike Novogratz. The OTC trade represents the first step that the bank took to offer customizable exposure to the crypto market. And wouldn't it be so? It's the wealthiest people that get first crack at it, folks. Mike Novogratz hooking his boys up right here. Old Goldman guy hooking him up, giving him the chance to get to that OTC desk here. But I'll tell you something, this is getting into bigger news than that. And this is big news. There's no question about this. I believe this is really letting us all know what is going to come on a grand scale. Make no mistake. If I'm wrong, I'll make the video. Ripple's technology to be used by Canadian top bank for cross-border payments. Come on in. Take a look at this. Shout out to XRP Captain for this and everybody else involved here. If you take a look at this here, basically it's a tweet here from John Deep. Says here that he shares the news that Ripple's blockchain technology is now being used by Canada's top bank CIBC for cross-border payments. Ripple's partner, NAB, one of Australia's top 4 banks, stated on its website that it is partnering with Canada's CIBC using Ripple's blockchain network technology. CIBC is a leading Canadian-based global financial institution with 11 million personal banking and business clients. Just quickly move through this. Got something else for you here. It says, we believe that technology has the potential not only to deliver real-time international payments, but also improve security and efficiency of our payment system. This is also great news for Spend the Bits, which is based out of Canada and powered by the XRP Ledger. Come on in. Taking it from this side of the fence of NAB, Australia's 4 major banks openly states on its website, because it's partnering with the CIBC using Ripple's blockchain network technology. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. I remember specifically, and I will find the clip, where Bob Way, either talking to myself or someone else he interviewed with, where we talked about the idea of it will only really take 2 banks beginning to use XRP. And doesn't it in fact start with the software first? Of course it does, because it's a phase-in model. So this is getting exciting. This is Bob Way right here, and I want you to hear him point out, and he's using, just as it so happens to be out of coincidence, Canadian banks as the example. Take a listen to this, because I think it highlights a beautiful contrast to the news that we just got.
So they can say, oh yeah, well, you know, for example, and I'm going to pick on Canada again,
sure,
because they show up a lot. There's really only 5 big banks in Canada. This is the way I understand it. Canadians, please call me an idiot. But in general, there's only 5 big banks. Whereas the U.S. has like tens of thousands of banks.
Sure.
Here. So, you know, and the 5 civilized big banks in Canada can get together and you go like, you know, our systems would be better if we synchronize. For all Canadians doing Canadian dollar to Canadian dollar, or, you know, transactions from one bank to another. Hey, let's make it go faster. Let's not lose any payments. Let's give them additional features. And they can all do that.
Right.
And then you go, oh, that's like turning the switch. That's going to make XRP go up. You go like, no, because they're doing Canadian dollars to Canadian dollars.
Right.
There's no reason for them to go Canadian dollars to XRP, pay a spread to some trader, and then go XRP to Canadian dollars and pay us. They're just generating fees and cost where they don't need to.
Now, very quickly, I just want to highlight that he's talking about the understanding that this is between, the example he's giving is between Canadian bank to Canadian bank. There's no need to use XRP in that situation. The news today is between Canadian bank and Australian bank. Some could look at that as an exotic corridor. Keep listening.
The way I talk to people, like, say you're sending money to somebody else who banks at the same bank.
Right.
There's zero chance that payment's going to flow through XRP, because they're just going to debit this account, credit that account. It's going to happen instantly, and they're done.
Exactly.
And so you have to look which ones are really provide utility value of going through XRP, and that initially is going to be two exotic corridors here.
Right.
And so, but these same banks that are on Ripplenet doing these, giant payments that would be totally illiquid through XRP anyway.
Right.
From say Canadian dollars to euros, or Canadian dollars to US dollars, or those sort of things. They now have the technology to reach the exotic corridors. All they have to do is say, now it's time to do it.
And it may be time, because what we just saw today, this was from 2019, and what we just saw today is really two exotic corridors between Australia and Canada connect through Ripple's blockchain network technology, which I would take as Ripplenet, and it would just be one step further to begin settling with XRP. Pretty interesting stuff right there. Shout out to Bob Way. I hope he's doing well. And in that momentum, as we're seeing that, it's a reminder right here that there you have it. We're 9 months away, says Swift, before go live on ISO 20022 for cross-border payments, and reporting preparation and testing is well underway. Well, we know for a fact that Ripple and Stellar are the only two blockchain firms and companies that are in fact members to the standard body committee of ISO 20022. Taking a look right here is even more information here that just confirms what we're talking about here, is that far from simply an updated version of the current system for SWIFT, the new platform represents complete transformation in method of payment messaging, switching from linear processes to platform-based. The change is set to have significant implications for Treasury and finance, from increased visibility to sanctions, screening options, and improved exception management. It says read on here for the overview and changes in timeline. I show you this for the increased visibility, for which we know the CFPB had cited the same exact strength about Ripple and the virtual currency XRP to be able to show transparency on cross-border payments for the first time in the history of cross-border payments.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.